My dinosaur pen. Hello, ladies, blokes, and non-binary folks. Well, it's been a week since I last posted a video. Isn't that crazy? I thought I'd do a little video hyping up TFN, which is a Transformers convention that I'm assuming all of you watching are attending. Based on my metrics and who shares the videos and who comments and stuff like that, about 90% of the people who watch this, I'm probably going to see at TF anyway. So, hi. But if not, it's a good convention to go to. Bit late now. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to get tickets now, but maybe just think about it one time. And if you are going to TFN, I've done a video like this before. It's a good event. It's basically a whole weekend of Transformer nerding. So, it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. Friday is just a general sort of hanging out. There's like panels running all day. We're going to go over the panel schedule in a minute. And you just sort of, mostly, it's a bunch of us who are there every year, sort of chatting, hanging out, showing each other our toys. TFN is basically, you know, when you get a whole group of kids can bring their toy to school, it's this, but like 50% of us are 40, and the rest are usually younger. There's actually quite a lot of young folk go nowadays. They're actually, it's quite good to see, because it's a bit too much G1 sometimes in the Transformers world. You need people who are interested in the other stuff, because honestly, I want to see the other stuff. Friday, the meet-up. Saturday, convention hall, panels, big events. Sunday, more convention hall, buying stuff, toys. You know how conventions work. You've probably been to one before. Hopefully one of the good ones, not one of those terrible ones that are cropping up everywhere now. Went to one in Guildford a while ago, and it was rubbish, although I did get an Armada Megatron there. But it was like 90% people selling 3D printed dragon eggs. None of that nonsense at TFN. We have 3D printed good things. So last year someone had a giant matrix of leadership, and now you can buy an official Hasbro one. I think someone's probably going to have that at the store, because that's turning up in places now. It's a pretty chill event. It's like the only reason I go to this convention every year of my own volition, without someone else dragging me to a convention, because normally it takes other people getting me to go to a convention. The only reason I go to this every year is because it's relaxed and nice, and I can, you know, chat to other collectors. I can meet new people I haven't met before, just hang out, nerd out about stuff. Last year I got chatting to a lad called Krisha, and he's a cool lad. He's going to be there this year. His dad was in that Heath Ledger Night film. He told me about that. He showed me a clip. But, you know, last year I chatted with Chris McFeely and Few, and like Jason J Swags a little bit. You know, the Triple Takeover guys. Haven't chatted to Sixo for a few years, since the first TFN, when me and Jay from the Fans Traumas podcast started talking about pissing experiences that were weird. Probably shouldn't have chatted about that. Probably not the weirdest thing he's experienced at the convention. I'm going to go over the schedule in a bit. I'll tell you a little bit about stuff that I'm going to be doing there, what I'm going to be looking for this year. But first off, if you find me, you say hi. I've got a thing. I'm going to be handing out some Chinese blockies. I've got a feeling they're going to have these at the event, but you know, if you want a free one, just say hi and I'll give them out. There's some in here. I don't know how many's actually in here. I mean, it's a full set, isn't it? There's probably going to be something good in it. 12 figures. These ones are quite cool. There's like a Lio convoy in there. Just done a video about Lio convoy. Feel free to go watch that. I don't mind. I'm going to be giving those out. I haven't really thought massively about what I'm looking for this year. I'm going to look for a quick switch, because that's like the next thing in my collecting goals to get. And I still haven't decided on like an Armada Unicron trilogy set. Dr. Lockdown did a video about like some of the combiner teams. They look kind of cool. I don't know if I'll be able to get them for a reasonable price though. But you know, I just want a set, like a nice set. Maybe I'll go for some Superlink guys and combine together. I don't know much about those guys, so it'd be nice to have some of them. That's where it helps when you get younger fans in, because they know those things. I don't. They can point me and go, "That's a good one. Go for that. It's big and clunky. You'll love it." I'm going to look for some of those. That's for collecting goal purposes. But like I say, quick switch. That's my main priority. I always look for a hot rod every year. Maybe this year I'll finally get the animated hot rod. Probably not. Hot rod, not hot ron. If you're looking for a hot ron at the collect at TFN, more power to you. I'm looking for a hot rod, which I don't know if that sounds better or worse. Yeah, I'll be looking for one of them. I also like to get a spy changer every year, or GoBot, depending what you call them. I've picked up 3 over the years. They're always fun. Neat little Hot Wheel size things. So I'll try getting some of them. And I've kind of been convinced that I want that Transformers Icons Optimus Prime that turns into the Autobot logo. I've got a feeling I might end up buying one of them if they're there. I imagine they will, because there's quite a few stalls that are going to have up-to-date modern product. I'm going to spend most of my time at the toy food table, rooting through it, going, that looks like a weirdo, I'll have that, please. So I got Swindle one, I just saw him there with his weird mono eye and going, that's lovely, I want that. We'll see what toy food have this year. I'm hoping someone's got some metal card bots. I know Primetime Toys are getting metal card bots to display. They're not for sale as far as I'm aware, but they're trying to convince the distributors to make them available in the UK. Which, please, I would like some metal car bots. They look rad. One thing I might look for as well, last year I picked up a Ratchet here. I also picked up Ironhide. This is a Scan Series ones. I got Sideswipe before, and this was a collecting goal last year, was to get all 4 of the Scan Series figures. They are lovely and extremely fragile. The only one I'm missing is Bumblebee, and none turn up on eBay in decent condition. I've seen no one selling them on other websites. Like, I want one. Ideally a boxed one, because, like, every single one of these I've brought, all 3 have got something wrong with them. Sideswipe's missing some rubber pieces. Ironhide's got a broken panel that I couldn't see when it was in the bag. Ratchet here's missing his gun. I have tried looking for the regular Dark of the Moon figure to try and get the gun from that. But yeah, if I can find the Bumblebee, that would be lovely. And as always, I'll be looking for the Tiny Turbo Changers Wild Wheel, which I still can't get. Did you see that Lockdown figure that's coming out? The one that's, blatantly Wild Wheel. Mine's an old moot. Tar. Speaking, hints and tips, apparently in the last year, I'm not making the camera shake. Apparently in the last year, the Hilton has stopped taking cash for food and drink and stuff. So make sure you got some money on a card. They've gone contactless. So you might want to worry about that if you're there. Because, yeah, the lack of cash is a bit of a worrying thing. Hopefully it doesn't catch people out. But I'm assuming most people are going to have their card on them. But if you're like me, I take money out of my account. I keep shaking the camera by moving my arm on the table. If you're like me, I take money out of my account and I save it up for a few months. They're like every month I take a bit out, so I've got money to spend. So now I've got to worry about having money on my card as well. I could put the money back in my bank account, but now that's extra toy money, It'll work out, I'm sure. That's that. I thought what we would do for this part of the video is look at the schedule. I'll probably try to put some of these on the screen. Who knows? But I'm going to be there from Friday morning. I'm leaving at 8 a.m, which probably means I'm not going to sleep the night before, because every time I need to wake up early for something, I don't. I fall asleep. I can't fall asleep, and then I wake up late. It's going to be fun. Maybe I'll just fall asleep in the evening, like about 7 o'clock, and then wake up at midnight and just stay awake all night. That's my best bet. But I'm getting there for about 11, which is roughly around when the con really starts. Because the way it works, the panel room opens at 11 o'clock, and Friday is just all panels. So there's, like, today at TF Nation is where they start up, and then that's like the introduction to the event. That's where they just say, hey, welcome. They play an opening ceremony and all this sort of stuff. Saturday has the real opening ceremony. That's the good stuff. If you're there early enough, go to that opening ceremony in the morning. It's usually quite fun. At 11:30, there's the Constructicon Part 1. It says on here, Los Angeles, Dublin, Torquay. 10 years on the TFN guest list is a real international affair. It's the 10th anniversary this year, isn't it? Yeah. This is my 2022, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, this is my 5th TFN. Hear from some of our long-standing talent support team members as they take you along for the ride on the appearance journey from idea to stage. Oh, I'm a really good reader. One day I should publish a video of when I'm recording my reviews so you can see just how silky smooth they go. So that's at 11:30. I mean, I'm going to be sitting around doing nothing for the first few hours because I can't check into my room until after 12, I believe, or after 3 maybe. TF Raw at noon. Some collect comics, some collect toys. Andy collects media and friends. Andy takes to the stage to take us through his extensive archive material. Maybe you'll get to see something you've never seen before, or learn something about the history of Transformers you never knew. I'm sure that sounds interesting. I'll probably give that a watch because, like I say, can't check into my room straight away. Hopefully they'll let me check in early. I need to sort out my rooms. I had a kerfuffle booking it. They sorted it out last year. It'll be fine. Right, 1 p.m. Earth Wars. Oh, that's a game, isn't it? Yeah, Transformers Earth Wars first dropped onto tablets and mobile devices Join us as we sit down with legendary writer Simon Furman to explore the secrets behind the game's enduring success and get a rare behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to craft a video game story over an entire decade. I played Earthwars for a bit, but it was one of those mobile phone games where there's loads of cooldown timers, and the difficulty is entirely based on when they want to bottleneck you to throttle you to, pay for stuff. Not into it. I mean, I'll probably watch that, but I ain't going to play Transformers Earthwars again. There used to be a Transformers card game I played a lot. It was one where you built up a deck, and it was one of those auto battler things, and I got a bit too into that for a while, and it was dire. I don't know why I played it so much. 130, the Legend Experience for Darren Norris. If you bought Legend Experience passes, that'd be the Friday one for you. First time I've bought a Legend Experience pass this year for Vince DiCola, which is up at 3 o'clock. I've got a copy of the Transformers movie on vinyl. It's a new print of it, but it's not that redone version that's just come out. It's the proper version. I'm going to get that signed by him when I meet him. Forging your own path. The Forge is a vital and vibrant part of TF Nation. We've invited a few of our friends from the Forge to take a little time out of their setup to explain what goes into tabling at a Transformers convention. I watched this last year. It was quite nice. Claudeval was doing a good job explaining their little things, how they get obsessed about, like donuts or something, and they make Transformer drawings based around food and stuff. I've seen some of the stuff they're posting this year. Claudeval makes some very cute stuff. If you want some cute stuff, check out their stall. There's a lot of good stalls there. I usually go straight to Luke and Tees. So apparently this works, but I can't get it to work. Give it a try. I usually go to Luke and T stall, get a t-shirt from him, and then over the course of the year I completely ruin the print by putting it through the wash too many times. I'll be going to him today. He said he's put aside a Hot Rod t-shirt for me. Maybe that'll be my Hot Rod this year. 3 o'clock, Legends Experience Vince DiCola. Can't wait to meet him. Don't know what I'm going to say. I'll probably ask him about Rocky 4, because incredible soundtrack on Rocky 4. But yeah, Vince DiCola, 3 o'clock, that's where my slot is. History of animation. This is Chris Carter going over how Transformers cartoons have been animated, including Transformers Animated. Over the years. I will sit and watch that, although it does clash with the Vince DiCola thing. I'll hopefully catch some of that. Chris Carter's a cool dude. He's a good bloke, and he sold me a Starscream once. I've got a Masterpiece Starscream over there I brought from him. Good bloke. Cheers for that, Chris. It was a good figure. It's basically resting up against a bunch of Switch games because it's the only way I can get it to stay upright. Triple Takeover, a TF Nation invasion. TF Nation, once again, is joined by Sixo, Liam, and J-Swags, Jason Wagner, it's J-Swags, for the very special live edition of Triple Takeover. Every single year, this is the most important thing for me to catch on Friday. Friggin' love catching the Triple Takeover one, because it's nonsense every time. They usually have some sort of versus thing, get the audience involved. It's a good time. I hope Maz comes back. I don't think he's been to TF Nation for a few years now. Would be good to get Maz back on the show one day for TF Nation. He's a good lad. Spoke to him a while ago. 5 PM, break. That is, I assume, a break. 6 PM is the Matrix test. Now, normally that's during ClubCon, but something's going on with ClubCon this year. I'll talk about it when I get there. That's usually where Chris McFeely makes people hate him, and he probably loses a few subscribers every time. It's a pub quiz for Transformers. Usually, the last few years, they've overly convoluted the scoring system, and hopefully it'll be simpler this time. Transformers the movie, Ladybird, beyond good. Actually, that's about sums it up. Transformers' own Andrew Turnbull provides you with a rendition of a cinema classic in a way you've never experienced before. I love the Transformers the movie book on tape by Ladybirds. I have the book, I have the tape. The music I use during the transformation sequence is the theme tune from that version of the tape. It's like one of my favourite renditions of the Transformers the movie, Transformers theme. I'll be watching that. Slam Dance, 1986 edition. Oh, I like Slam Dance. Good figure. I've got a little Doctor Who version of him. This epic lip sync event, cosplayers wearing human-inspired outfits will take to the TFN stage, not just to parade, but to battle their way through some classics from the Transformers the movie soundtrack. Original versions or those new weird-sounding ones? Yeah, that seems like they're splitting the cosplay contest into two halves. I don't think they are entirely, though, because the cosplay contest usually risks making ClubCon run over. So, but I say they seem to have moved some stuff that would normally be at ClubCon into the previous night, which is cool. People get to experience it for free. Transformers movie Legacy, 1986 Transformers movie, widely regarded as the most iconic and influential chapter in Transformers history, or more so than KISS players. It destroyed our childhoods and became a cult classic and reshaped the franchise forever. You know what? I think Hasbro should apologise for that. Now, as it celebrates its 40th anniversary, Such a shit talker. We honour its unforgettable legacy, but personally and culturally, alongside familiar faces, including historians Jim Saunders, Chris McFeely, and James Roberts, let's find out who cried when Prime dies. I reckon James Roberts cried. I'm 100% sure James Roberts cried. Chris McFeely as well, he's a bit emotional. Jim probably didn't care. Probably just went yeehaw and shot some guns in the air. I need to see if Wild Will's hat can fit on Jim Sorensen. I need to speed this up because we're like 18 minutes into this recording. Movie night, 9:30. What could it be? They're not allowed to say because of like whole rules about exhibitions and stuff like that. But I think you can guess when this mentions dare to come watch a film with us, even though you don't know which one. I think we can guess what that is. GoBots. Challenge of the GoBots. What's it called? Battle of the Rock Lords? I'm sure it's that. Panel room closes. That's all for Friday night. Right. Saturday. I'm going to go through this quicker. Opening ceremony, like I said, great. There's usually like a little health and safety video that makes me chuckle every year. But yeah, make sure you're there for that at 9 a.m. if you get the chance. I mean, the Trader Hall's not open at that point, so you might as well. Right after breakfast. Make sure you get your breakfast if you're staying at the Hilton. Don't stay at the Hilton if you value your wallet. I'm staying at the Hilton. I'm going to be broke. Avoid the rush. That's where you just sit around and wait. The Saturday morning queue for the Trader Hall can be a little much if you prefer to avoid the rush and sit back and relax with some TFN entertainment in the King Suite. Don't worry, the toys are restocked all weekend, yeah. They open the Trading Hall early at 9:45 for the people who pay for early access. I never bother with that. Even though I know I'm going to miss out on some of the rarer and cooler stuff. Not fussed. I don't want to pay that extra amount for that. I'll be going at 10:45. I'd probably get down there. I've strolled down there at about 11. But in the panel room, Scott Brownlee, sound engineer Scott Brownlee, is going to talk about music. Orson Welles, working with Orson. Do you know what? That's right. When the Trader Hall opens, and Scott Brownlee's going to be talking about the audio of Transformers the movie, and including working on the Orson Welles recordings for the Transformers movie, and of course creating an iconic voice of Soundwave in the original Sunbow series. I kind of want to see that, actually. That's like right when the Trader Hall opens. They should have put that on later. Yeah, Scott Brownlee appears in association with Transformers at the Moon. What is Transformers at the Moon? Hold on. Open link in new tab. Transformers Toys website announcements. Welcome to Transformers at the Moon. This looks like TFTW, whatever it is. Not heard of that before, but well done. Cheers for bringing Scott Brownlee. Chill out room opens. They have a chill out room. The registration desk area kind of clears out a bit around this time at noon, so they open it up to let people just sit and chill out in there. That's one of the benefits I find at TFN. That's why I get a room at the Hilton, so I can go and sit upstairs. And at noon in the panel room, Jessica Carroll. She's in Baldur's Gate and Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh, I love Thomas the Tank Engine, don't you? Do you remember that time Chris McFeely upset all the Thomas the Tank Engine fans? To us, she's the legendary Elita 1 and the dastardly Arachnid from Transformers Cyberworld. I've not watched Cyberworld. I watched one episode because people told me a character was at the end of it that might be Wild Will. It wasn't. It was Galvatron. Now there's another character that might be Wild Will. 1 p.m. Spotlight Nick Roach. Now, Nick Roach told me that with the Wild Will's hat stuff, I'm doing important scientific work. A couple of years ago, I got him to sign Scarenhood. Hopefully he's got some copies of that. You should buy Scarenhood. It's good. Mother Folklore's in the works right now, which is a sequel. Career retrospective with The Last Stand of the Wreckers writer and artist, Transformers Earthspark character designer, and big-time Marvel Comics artist Nick Roach. He did the character designs for a lot of the characters on Transformers Earthspark, which ended up being the thing that kind of held that show together after a while, because it went through some changes, and I don't think it was for the better. The first series was so good, and then it just went off a cliff, didn't it? 2 p.m, Blockies. Mark from Blockies drops in to give us the latest news on the ever-growing army of Transformers. Now, Mark, if you're listening, do not bring the Harry Potter Blockies with you. People won't be impressed by them. I guarantee the Transformers TF Nation fandom will be somewhat hostile towards Harry Potter Blockies. I mean, don't give them any crap, but it'd be a waste of your time. Take those boxes out, put some boxes of the Carmen Rider ones for me. Or Transformers ones, I don't know. But he had some Saint Seiya ones and Ultraman ones last year. But I might actually watch that because I've been kind of fascinated by the way over the years that guy, I think it's the same guy every year, Mark, has gradually learned that this isn't a corporate event. The first few times he did the Blockies things, it was a little bit like scripted corporate event stuff, and then last year seemed to ease up a little bit. I think that's going to be the pattern. Hopefully it eases up a bit because we all love Blockies. I'm giving away a bunch of them. It's, Blockies are good. I just sold a bunch of them. I've kept a bunch of cool ones. I finally got a hot rod. 3 p.m. Darren Norris. This is going to be juicy. You may know him as Cosmo from Fed Up. It's a voice actor, isn't he? Yeah, Cyclonus in Transformers Armada, the game. And Mr. Smelt in Transformers Earth. Which one's Mr. Smelt? Don't remember. I've watched Earthspark, I just said. Knockout in Transformers Prime. Okay, that's more important. But yeah, Darren Norris. Good. Yeah. Like I say, he's from one of the newer shows, so I haven't watched as much of the newer shows. I've watched Prime, though. I have watched Prime, and I have watched Animated, and I played Transformers Armada. Loved it. So yeah, Darren Norris there. Chill Out Room closes. Oh, they should just leave that open. What's the trouble? Let people sit there. I wonder if the Battersea Power Station's there again this year. They had like the area outside the trading hall to themselves last year. I just bought a key ring and stuff from them. I could have. Takes me like an hour to get to that store. I could just like get on the train, like half an hour to walk in town, half an hour on the train. I'm there. Panel room closes at 4, so it's closing a little earlier this year. I think normally it closes at 5. There's a Legend Experience for Darren Norris at 4:30. 5 p.m. Trader Hall closes. I wish they let the Trader Hall stay open longer, but I know why they don't. It's so that the guys who are working in the Trader Hall can get packed up and get involved in ClubCon afterwards. Because at 6 p.m. ClubCon happens. Now, ClubCon is usually a whole evening of all sorts of things. There's usually a bunch of big reveals. They sometimes have like, some sort of old script that they've uncovered and things like that. Last year they showed a version of the opening episodes of Transformers, the original series, but had like extra scenes edited into them. It's great stuff. But this year it's only on for like 2 hours because of the Vince DiCola music performance later in the evening. ClubCon, presenters cosplay at 6 p.m. Bunch of cool people dressed up in crazy costumes that Chris McFeely is going to photograph. You can't stop him. I mean, you could say no and he'd probably be fine with it, but you'll see him. There's usually some pretty wacky cosplays there. Dr. Count Evil is my fave. They have a Starscream costume one year that was brilliant, and a Megatron. Yeah, we'll see how they go. But yeah, cosplay contest, that's usually the one that dangerously makes ClubCon overrun. We Talk TV. You check in, but you don't check out. Though you probably should check it out. Turns out, our hat of Transformers history housed one or more Petro Rabbit. I don't know what that's about. We Talk TV. Half an hour. Don't know what that's about. You've only got 2 hours, and I don't know what that's about. 7:30, live script reading. Unknown energy source corpses. They haven't said what that is, but chances are they have. I mean, obviously it's live script reading, but usually they have some sort of custom script they've written. One year it was like a Winnie the Pooh thing. It was good fun, that. But they're closing ClubCon at 8 p.m. Like, normally it goes on to like 10:30. But the thing is, I know a few people have said, and I think it's kind of fair, that they've charged the same for ClubCon when they were selling the tickets, but it's like 2 hours long. I feel like if you did ClubCon, it should have included the Vince DiCola thing. But I imagine tickets for the Vince DiCola performance are part of his reason for being there. I have to pause because the camera is overheating. Be right back. Hopefully I haven't moved too much. Had to stop recording because the camera was overheated. 9:30 Vince DiCola live performance. I'm going to that. It's only running an hour. Apparently he did something at the TFCon this week, or San Diego Comic Con. He did something this past week with Stan Bush and stuff. Probably not going to be that grand here because that's an expensive thing. But they got some guy called Jadal something. I saw a video of him performing. Seemed pretty good. But yeah, I'll be going to that after I've met Vince the day before. It's going to be a big weekend. All the Transformers and movie stuff is because it's the 40th anniversary of the movie. So that's fine. This video's going on really long, by the way. I'm sorry. I'll try and trim this down. So the next day, Sunday, panel room opens at 8:30. Now, at 9 o'clock is when it actually really starts, though. You're going to have the rundown of the day's events. Same thing. Titans Return, 9:30. The Battersea Power Stations, guys. First standalone Transformer store is in the panel. No, that answers the question I was saying a minute ago. They are there. In this panel, we'll hear from the team about some of their exciting plans. It's a good store. It's, very much a merch store, and they do have figures there. I got Bumblebee Movie Optimus Prime that was reissued in Studio Series there. Got that last time, so that's pretty cool. Right, the trading hall opens at 10 o'clock. I will be in there straight away, and I'll just spend the day looking at robots. 10:15, Anatomy of a Bot. One for the plastic fans, a special presentation from former Hasbro Hong Kong Transformers product designer manager Leung Joseph, from the mainline to HasLab. That'd be quite interesting to look. I do like listening to the ones that are like talking about the development of the toys and stuff like that, the design process. There's been some really interesting ones from guests in the previous years. Andy Cousins a few years ago was really good. It's good. I like that sort of design stuff. The rest is Giant Robots Live. That's Simon Furman and Andrew Wildman's panel podcast done live. I've not listened to that podcast. It's been presented in association with the Battersea Power Station and Agora Models. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard him talk a few times, Simon Furman. He's added a lot to the Transformers history and stuff like that, but sometimes I feel like he's got a bit of an old mindset. But, he's one of the old guard and he's a legend. He's always good that he does do the convention every year. It's nice that he's there. There's a lot of people who really, look up to his work and stuff like that. It's great, and obviously I read the comics as a kid. It is something I'm a big fan of, but I just don't have a ton of interest in watching that. But I might pop by. Who knows? James Alexander, with special thanks to Primetide Toys, he's going to be doing a chat about voice acting and stuff. Megatron, Grimlock, Snarl, Shop, and Galvatron. Birmingham's own James Alexander. He's from Birmingham. Don't do a Birmingham accent in the convention area. If a Brummie hears you, they will murder you. 1 p.m. Engineering Chaos. 40 years ago, Transformers fans were introduced to the ultimate force in the universe, the Chaos Bringer, Unicron. Join Chris Carter as he journeys through the trials, triumphs, and near impossible challenges of bringing one of the franchise's most feared icons to kids everywhere. Which is funny, because he only got brought to kids in the 80s in the form of a movie, and nothing else. We didn't get a toy of Unicron for like 16 years. Right? 17 years? I have the Armada Unicron. I've put him in retirement now, though. He's in a box, because not in great condition. I would love the cartoon colours version of that Armada toy. That toy's great. I don't have the HasLab, it's too big. Registration closes 2 p.m. Year of the Beasts. In celebration of the 35th year, it's Beast Wars anniversary this year, isn't it? Hell yeah, this is the only Beast Wars panel? Chris McFeely takes you back to the 90s for an in-depth look at when the Maximals and Predacons were unleashed upon the world, and how it was shown in the UK. Yeah, it was how it came to the UK. It's a bit of a mess, Beast Wars in the UK. It was on, I think if I remember rightly, it was on morning TV in 10-minute blocks, like the G1 cartoon was. But I remember, or at least I remember, you got a handful of episodes for a week and then nothing for 6 months. I remember it being a bit of a mess, and I brought the videos to watch Beast Wars, pretty much. Target 1986 special guest James Roberts, Morden Meets the Eye, will sit down with Simon Furman and Jeff Sr. for a 40th anniversary look back at one of the most chaotic, enduring of all Transformers comic series, Target 2006. That was a good run, to be fair. It's a bit of a nutty story. A lot happens in it. So yeah, I might listen to that. Don't know. Let's see. Trader Hall closes at 4. It has to close sometime, and it is a Sunday, Got to close early so everyone can go to sleep and have a nap. 4 p.m. Vince DiCola's chat, his panel. I'll probably listen to that. I just want to hear what Vince DiCola has to say about his music and stuff like that. It's great. I think he should have done more film soundtracks. Personally, I think his music sounds like, to me, what 80s movie soundtracks sound like, but he actually only did a couple, and I think it's just one of those things where it's because I've watched Transformers movie and Rocky 4 so many times, it's wormed into my brain that that's what 80s films sound like, when really they were probably more orchestral Star Warsy sounds, weren't they? But it's that synth sound, the deep bass of Unicron's medley and stuff like that. Love it. Constructicon Part 2. That's where we can ask questions to the people doing the panel. They usually talk about what they're planning for the conventions, how they get it all together and all that. 'Cause it's a big thing to put together over the course of a year. And 5:45 is the closing ceremony. I did watch that last year, and it was quite nice when they talked about what other stuff they're doing. They're doing a mini-con in Swindon this year. It was in Reading last year. I didn't go to it. I never have the money for the mini-con by the time it rolls around. But yeah, they usually talk about what they're planning and give you hints of what's coming next. They have talked about getting another hall. I was kind of hoping they would do it this year, but I guess that's something you have to plan a few years in advance. Because that's what I was kind of expecting to happen with the Vince DiCola stuff, was that they would have the third hall. There is another hall at the thing. Usually it's being rented out by other people. And I was wondering if they were going to do ClubCon, and then partway through the Vince DiCola concert would start, but then I guess people in ClubCon would be able to hear it. A lot of the ClubCon goers will probably go into that. It's a tricky thing to organise this year, having a live concert thing. But yeah, that's the schedule. I think I'm going to try to catch some of Chris Carter's animation panel, because I won't be able to catch the whole lot of it because the Vince DiCola signing is at the same time, but I'll try and catch some of that. The Matrix test, I just want to see what Chris McFeely does to us. On Friday, I'll be watching most of the panels, I think, anyway, because sitting in the bar as well, I suppose. But not buying anything that day, am I? I'm not sure about Saturday's panels. I do want to see the Blockies thing, and I'll probably watch Nick Roach's panel because he's a fun lad. But yeah, there's the Club Corner stuff. I'll probably spend most of the time in the trading hall. Sunday's a bit more like doing other stuff, like the Anatomy of a Bot. But I want to see that, and I want to see Chris McFeely's Beast Wars panel. That'd be fun as well. But yeah, that's the rundown today. I'll probably have to trim this down a whole bunch because I've recorded this for about 30 minutes of going over the schedule. Bad idea. I decided to do this at the last minute. TF Nation this coming weekend. It's going to be a fun time. I hope to see a bunch of you there. I hope to see loads of familiar faces. If you see me walking around, I'll have Wild Will in my pocket. So if you want a picture of Wild Will's hat on your toys, just let me know. Hopefully I don't lose it. This year, I will be coming to your stall, Gav, and I will be putting the hat on the Sly Size Tiger because really, all these Wild Will hat picks, it gives us a rough idea of, what characters the hat can fit on, what size it is and stuff like that. But I feel like the Sly Size Tiger should help lock in the scale for everyone. Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll have a chat in the bar, have a drink. Only have one drink though, because you'd need to get a mortgage to get more than one drink at the TFN bar. It was like £14-16 for a double JD and Coke one year. Absurd. I'm probably going to pack a 6-pack of Coke bottles so I can have some in my room. It's going to be good. I'll come back next week to chat about what stuff I picked up. Show me pickups. Show what I got. I usually come away with about 10 to 15 figures. I'm pretty silly like that. Thank you for watching. Do a like, comment, subscribe. The overheating monitor's appeared again. This is really good. The heat around here is ruining my video making. But I will see you next time. Do like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Wild Will's hat on Blue Sky. And, bye. My phone, did you have to do that? Did you have to put a notification through just as I was finishing the video? Cheers for that.